So I guess I'll get into the vocals of this part. The biggest blessing about this song is Roses has an insane voice, and I suck at producing vocals. And thank God for this track. I mean, I got better at it now, but at the time I was pretty awful. Thank God she like would sing like perfectly on key. I don't even think I melodined the majority of it. For those of you who don't know, Melodyne's basically a tuning software which you can use for anything, but it's most typically used for vocals. And I put like very basic reverb on her voice. Her voice is just super strong and perfect, and I think because of that too, that it wasn't over-processed, it makes it feel super authentic as well.
Yeah, I was in the middle of the living room.
Yeah, oh
with
yeah.
the AC blowing.
Yeah, we recorded all these vocals, no vocal booth, with my Telefunken mic, and like, what do you call those shield things?
Yeah.
And yeah, with the middle of my New York City apartment. Luckily, it was high up in a building.
I had to like, there's like the vents that you can't, because like, you know, you get like flu diseases in apartments if you don't have a proper ventilation. So we had to like hold the towel like over the vent that was like blown. Yeah, and it just went for it.
Yeah.
It was great.
It's cool. It's cool. I mean, like, typically we try to get a cleaner audio recording, but it's really cool that we made this track so like almost bootleg in a way, and it's gone as far as it's gone. And I think that's like something that's important to keep in mind when you're writing and producing, is that sometimes when things aren't perfect and things are sloppy and whatever, it makes your track more authentic almost, you know, because it adds some kind of like, you don't even consciously realize what the sound is. It has a certain vibe to it, a certain air about it. I saw like deadmau5 way back in the day, like he said I'm pretty sure it was deadmau5, said that he goes like on the roof of his apartment building and records just noise, and that's really like low underneath all of his music, or at the time. And which I think is a really cool idea, because it's the same type of concept. You've added some real world sound to your production, which, you know, it's in a computer. These are a lot of synthetic instruments, and even the ones that are live, like strings and whatever, they're a computer string synthesizer. So doing stuff like that, and whenever you can record live elements, I highly recommend, because you know, it will add so much depth to your productions. So anyway, back to Rose's vocals.
Take it slow, but it's not typical.
Voice is amazing. So here's that Chris Lord-Alge vocal plugin that I was using. I didn't use any of the presets. I just threw it on, and it just because like it has, like I said, bass, treble, compress, reverb, delay, pitch, just like the you know, all those settings at 0, not like pushing any of them, really just tightens up the vocal. And like, I think I would be ruining her voice if I really pushed it further. I'm sure I like messed around with some of it and landed back on just that. I've cut out the low end to about 167 hertz, because that's like the point where I felt like, hey, I'll try to cut out anything that doesn't need to be there. And I felt like anything below that, you couldn't hear it. So
take it slow, but it's not typical.
So you're not hearing this part anyway, so why the hell would you let it take up space in your song?
His heart was a stone, but then
this reverb's on here. This is an Ableton reverb. Everyone says it's a bad reverb. I use it all the time. But I just use it here basically when I was talking about sweeping out certain sound elements in the song. I'll also like reverb them out. So let's see where I've used this. Yeah, so it looks like right when I go into the next part of the song. So kind of the throw on that kind of makes a nice easy transition to the next part of the song. Because I didn't want a super open reverb throughout her whole verse, but I did want to kind of throw it as it went into the next part of the song to help the transition.
This is where you started writing.
Yep, and then so this is the part of the vocals that I wrote. We were talking about earlier. We were listening to a lot of Group Love, and I love how there's this kind of like dual vocal thing that the male vocalist and the female vocalist do together. And when you add like a male and female voice together, it gives like the whole song a different kind of like space and energy. and I felt like the whole verse was like kind of riding this high, and I wanted to really spread out. So that's where I really added like a full bass, my vocal, and I added acoustic guitar, just to basically widen this part of the song. So to break that down, we'll start with the vocals. Here's the vocal bridge.
Deep in my bones, I can feel you. Take me back to a time only we knew how to wait.
So we'll start with just the actual audio of it. So it's the same processing I did on her voice.
Deep in my bones, I can feel you. Take me back to a time only we knew how to wait.
Yet again, I'm using, actually I probably did something different here. Yeah, so there's a little bit more. It's basically the same basic Chris Lord-Alge vocal plug-in thing. But I've added a little bit more reverb and delay, not much. There's also a compressor on there. And this is on like the full group, I believe. I threw a compressor on there because I want the CLA 3A compressor because I wanted to glue her vocals and my vocals together. But I don't think hers needed them alone, so that's why they're not on the previous part of the song. So you guys ready to hear my shitty voice? Her voice sounds...
Deep in my bones, I can feel you. Take me back to a time...
Great as always. So I just basically I just took 2 takes of her singing this part. As you can see, they're different. I did a double just to give her voice a little bit more depth. And then I just did a light, my vocals super light, didn't tune them at all, which I think is really cool because it makes sloppy, again, adds to the authenticity of the track. So you'll hear.
Deep in my bones, I can feel you. Take me back to a time only we knew how to wait.
Pretty nice, right?
I think you're a better singer today.
Yeah.
Deep in my bones.
And then I did a double and just panned it to the other side. So it's pretty simple, this part.
Deep in my bones, I can feel you. Take me back to a time only we knew how to wait.
So that's cool, and it also adds to like the lyrical content of the song in that part. You know, like Roses is about, you know, catching a vibe with someone, and I really wanted to write something that was very vivid and have like very vivid image of like, you know, a certain time of being like in love with someone, and that's like, you know, watching an old movie and smoking weed, just like kind of like really bring those moments to the forefront of the song. So that's where the whole inspiration for this part of the track came.